Welcome back to musicianship for worship leaders, musicians, and general worshippers. And this short course is primarily about just introduction to the basics as you think about music and all of the underpinning information. So these are the things that everybody needs to know, and I'm hoping that you find it helpful. You might find some of it sounds a lot like revision, and other things might be new, or maybe just some things slot into place just for your understanding. So this session is called the Introduction to the Piano, the basics for beginners. Now, a lot of people have played the piano and are already quite competent on it, but if you're a guitarist, you may actually think of the piano as a bit of a mystery. And as we do this Introduction to Musicianship course, a lot of the illustrations are shown on the piano. So I'm just going to give you a crash course on the piano. Let's have a look at it together. Introduction to the Piano, Basics for Beginners. So where do we start? Well, we've talked about in our previous videos about scales being a ladder from low to high or high to low, and each note or each pitch is a step in the ladder. And the piano is exactly that. It's just like a ladder from low to high, and each note is a step on the ladder going from low to high and back again. We always start by explaining where to find middle C, just so you can find a point of reference. Middle C is right in the center of the keyboard to the left of two black notes. It sounds like this. That's middle C, or C, and it's one of the first notes that you learn. And then we work out from there, moving up by step. Just stepping up that musical ladder. All the way up. When we get all the way to C, we keep going. D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So it's just a ladder going up. When we go towards the right, we're taking steps upward in the musical ladder. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Now, if we wanted to go down from C, so let's go back to the middle, to the left of two black notes, and we step downwards to the left. We're stepping down in those musical ladder steps. So from C to a B, to an A, to a G, to an F. So it's pretty straightforward. It's just up and down, stepping up and down the musical ladder. Now, sharps and flats, we often talk about them, are basically the black notes. Sharps and flats are the black notes. So if we go C, D, E, F, G, you'll notice that in between C and D, there's a black note. So what's that all about? Well, sharps and flats are the black notes. A sharp is the black note a step up or to the right. So if we go from C up to the next nearest black note, we would call that C sharp. Interestingly, a flat is the black note a step down or to the left. What you notice about this, if we're on D now and we step to the black note to the left, what do you notice? It's the exact same note that we were talking about before. We call it a C sharp, but we can also call it a D flat because it's a black note to the left of D. It's a black note to the right of C. So we can call it C sharp or D flat. Everything on the piano can have two names. So C sharp is also D flat, as we've just explained. Same note, two different names. So chords on the piano, as we've already talked about, are built on 1, 3, 5. Now let's take the major scale, C, C major, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Now, there can be a chord built on every note of the C scale, and we said they're 1, 3, 5, so whatever note we start with, let's say it's a C, we skip a note, go to the next note, skip a note, go to the next note. That's a C major chord built on C. C, skip a note, E, skip a note, G. If we go one step higher and do it starting on D, we get D, F, note, F, skip a note G to A, skip a note B to C. We've got the F chord, and the same with G, A, B, C, D, G chord. And if we do it on A, skip a note C, skip a note E, we get the A minor chord. So that's all the chords of C major. C, A minor, F, G, and A minor. They're the most common chords you come across in C. So from that alone, you can now play the chords in C major. You can find them on the keyboard, and you can create your own chords by simply finding the note and building them in 1, 3, 5s on the keyboard. So let's just do it. So we said C. How do we find C? We look for 2 black notes and go to the note to the left. Now to build a chord on C, or play a C chord, we go C, skip a note D, E, skip a note F, G, and we've got a G, C chord. That's C. Now let's go up the ladder. C, D, and let's build a chord on D. D, skip a note F, skip a note A. Let's do another one. Let's go to F. So we're going to go 2 black notes C, C, D, E, F. That's F there. So we're going to play F, skip a note A, skip a note C, and that's a C chord. Same thing starting on the next note up, G, G. So we're going to play G, skip a note B, skip a note D, and that's a G chord. You now have the skills you need to be able to play a chord progression. So let's go C, F, G, C. So we're going to go C, we're going to go C, D, E, F, F, we're going to go from F to G, and back to C. So there's a basic chord progression for C, F, G, back to C. And that's the beginning journey into the keyboard. So we'll be using the keyboard, and that basic understanding of the keyboard as a ladder for a lot of our lessons in musicianship, because the keyboard is a good place to visualize it, and you can see it all. You can see all the scales laid out before you. You can see all the sharps and flats, and it's much easier to navigate. So I hope that you found this video helpful, and if you've got any questions, put them in the comments, and I'd love to answer them for you. I hope to see you on the next video of musicianship for worship leaders, musicians, and worshippers. Bye for now.